Durag Wisdom here, folks, and today is Y2K17 0.05.01. I try to follow the code of the West, folks, which means that I want to keep my word. When I tell you I'm going to do something, I want to do it. And the two things that I wanted to do before I made my next broadcast, the first thing I accomplished, and that was when I wrote to the Times of London, I sent them an email about the fact that the BBC seemed to be suppressing the nuclear war classic Threads. Threads, as you know, came out the same year that The Day After came out, and it was released in September in Britain. We're talking about Threads. And of course, Threads came on the PBS that's when it was premiered in America, and they made a big deal about it then. But then the movie disappeared, never heard from again. It is available in this country in pirated versions, and ironically enough, the pirated versions has the music at the beginning like it's supposed to. I have the Region 2 DVD version of Threads, and I'm able to play it because I have a multi-region disc or disc player. But unfortunately, the BBC version, they cut out the short music piece at the beginning of the movie. They also didn't clean up the movie. This is a film that deserves a digital cleanup. It deserves an audio commentary, interviews with cast and crew, a work of art. You ever see Threads? It's like you live through a nuclear war. And unfortunately, because it's only available in Region 2, not Region 1, that's United States, you can't get a valid copy here unless you buy a multi-region DVD player. And in this time in our world history, we need Threads more than ever before. We need movies, art to depict what can happen to us, the unthinkable. And it's sad that the BBC has consigned Threads to some kind of digital or video dustbin where only people in Europe get to see it because of their Region 2s and the rest of us don't. I've seen it at least 50 times and I've studied it. And I did tell you I was going to write to the BBC, and I did. The letter that I read the letter on another broadcast. I sent that yesterday. What I did was I checked to see if about like sending it snail mail, and they really don't want snail mail. They rather I send them digital because apparently the London Times is green, unlike this birther Trumputin scum and his Geo-Putins, not green. So I did send that out, and I'm just waiting to hear from them if they're going to print it or not, because I intend to send a copy of that letter to every newspaper in London if necessary, because people have no right, these bureaucrats, these corporations have no right suppressing a movie like Threads that shows a nuclear war the way it possibly could be, and especially in a time we have a warmongering piece of dung in the awful office of our country, OFFAL. So I took care of that. And the second thing that I had to do for you is to find out if there are other folks, other pundits, other news outlets that support my view that this creep accomplished a great deal in his first 100 days. Because the way the mainstream media seems to be saying is he didn't accomplish anything legislatively, and I feel that he, especially because of the Supreme Court nomination, putting that creep in there, stealing that seat, this creep has accomplished a great deal for his base. And it turns out that the Young Turks, they did a thing on the first 100 days. They're on YouTube, and they seem to be, they agree with me. And I took a sigh of relief because I'm not trying to make this the Trump-Putin birther bastard creep look good. The last thing I want to do is make that creep look good. But I'm looking at him the way the Young Turks are looking at him, and they agreed that he's accomplished for his base and behind the scenes, because they're duplicitous. They go behind the scenes, and they, for example, and I have to tell you this before I sign off, the net neutrality is under threat. What is net neutrality? That's a free and open internet where there's no rich scum deciding who goes, who doesn't go. If they eliminate net neutrality, which the Republicans want to do, that means that the big providers will have more power over the smaller providers. And say someone like me, say I wanted to be a provider, they would be able to expunge me, because under this rule, no net neutrality, the rich get to control our internet. Now, Al Franken, the great Al Franken, I read a book of his, great guy, but I'm not a sycophant. He wrote a lot of stuff, a lot of essays about net neutrality. He supports net neutrality. He has been fighting for it, and now that this creepy, traitor Putin, oligarch, gangster-loving scum is in charge of, the United States, they're trying to eliminate net neutrality. So these are just some of the things that he's trying to accomplish. He hasn't accomplished a net neutrality thing yet, but what he's done so far is, again, he flushed in that fascist, religious extremist scum into the Supreme Court. He decimated the State Department so that we could maybe go to war. He has assigned to his cabinet all these scum who are working tirelessly to undermine the humanity of our federal government. And I've said all this before. So I wanted to let you folks know that I did do the homework I was supposed to do, because I couldn't come on this site with a clear conscience if I didn't do what I said I was going to do. So I'm still waiting to hear from the Times of London to fight for the release of threads worldwide in the director's format, and I did find out that another group of news people, the Young Turks in this case, agree with me that the mainstream media is really only giving half the story when they say that this creep totally failed. He did not totally fail. In fact, day by day, this creep is succeeding. We are alone out here, as I've said many times before. And whatever you can do, donate money to very liberal causes if you can, like participate in protests. I heard again that there's another scum GOP congressperson is going to retire. I don't have her name offhand, but there's going to be another seat in the House open for a Democrat to come in and take. You should look up on the internet which House member is planning not to run again. And of course, Jason Chaffetz, he's not running anymore. And we have to start again from, to take back our government from the bottom all the way to the top, because this creep is going to be trying to destroy our government from the top all the way to the bottom. And he's already, of course, co-opted the Supreme Court and the Congress. The legislative branch is totally in control of the slime. The three branches of our government now are under the control of right-wing traitors. Think about that, folks, and let's fight and resist.